Please give me a minute, my child. You won't regret it if you give it a little time, I assure you. Come to a stop here. Avoid hurrying. Avoid scrolling. Don't let this moment pass you by like you have so many times in the past. I need you to hear me, therefore I am entering your day, your mind, and your environment. I need your heart to stop. Your spirit must breathe for me. I need your focus. It's not because I am demanding it, but rather because something you've been praying for is much closer than you think. Additionally, if you also move, you might miss what I put in front of you if you go sidetracked again and ignore it the way you have ignored other opportunities. So once more, I kindly but urgently ask that you give me a minute. Just this moment, this breath, this tiny space where the world lets go of you long enough for you to feel me again, not your entire day, not your entire strength. I am aware of how frequently you have hurried through these times. I am aware of how frequently you felt me tug at your heart, told you later, maybe later. I am aware of the several occasions you felt something significant but ignored it because life seemed too loud, overwhelming, or burdensome to pause and pay attention. I am aware of the several times you persuaded yourself that you would return, but you never did. However, this particular time is unique. Don't you sense it? Right now, there's a softer, quieter, and more open part of you than usual. You feel the weight of these words in some way. Something within you understands that I am not far away. I am right here, getting closer, reaching for you in a way you can't quite put your finger on. This is not an arbitrary moment. It's not a coincidence. Your heart has been straying farther than you realize, and I had to intervene before something priceless escaped your grasp, so I matched it with your life. These days, your life has been so noisy. There are so many ideas, concerns, and feelings racing through your head that you haven't even had time to hear yourself breathe. The world has been tugging at you since all directions. And without even understanding how much of yourself you've been losing in the process, you've been operating on empty. You've been exhausted not only physically, but also spiritually. You've experienced spiritual as well as mental overload. You've been lugging items that you weren't supposed to carry by yourself. You've been battling in silence, acting as though everything is fine, that you're strong, and that the weight doesn't cause you as much pain as it actually does. Additionally, because life has been so noisy, my soft voice has been missed. You didn't see my cues. The gentle prods I put in your way have gone unnoticed. You were burdened, not because you didn't care. Your heart felt weary, not because you were ignoring me. You've been surviving more than you've been living, not because you didn't love me. I also witnessed it. I could see the weariness in your eyes. I saw how heavy your steps were. I witnessed the feelings you attempted to conceal from yourself. I saw the aspects of you that you retained pulling down so that nobody would be concerned. I am here now because of that. My voice sounds closer than usual because of this. Your heart is responding because of this, even though you are not yet sure why. Because you have been praying for things that are deep, heavy, and hidden. You mumbled your prayers while crying. You kept your prayers to yourself so that no one else could hear them. You didn't believe your prayers were good enough, powerful enough, or noble enough to be accepted into heaven. However, they did. They all made it to me. I carried those prayers. When you thought no one else was interested, I listened to them. I arranged the answers in ways you still can't fathom while holding them in my hands. And now one of those solutions, one of those discoveries, one of those times you've prayed for is at last coming your way. However, you have to be awake for it. You have to be there. To receive it, you have to be well aligned. I need your attention because of this. To safeguard what I am delivering you, not to manipulate you. If you hurry through this moment, you might miss the very thing you've been pleading with me to convey, if you skim these words and divert your attention like you usually do. When something starts to feel too genuine or too deep, to give me a chance to keep you motionless, I'll quiet the world around you. For the moment, allow me to silence the cacophony within you. Your spirit softens sufficiently to allow me to talk to you, just for this moment, just for this breath. I am aware of how frequently you have suppressed such moments out of fear of experiencing too much emotion. I am aware of how sometimes you didn't want to face your own pain. I am aware of the several occasions you withdrew, because you didn't believe that wonderful things would truly come your way. I am aware of the several occasions you ran because it seemed safer to run than to hope. I am aware of the numerous instances in which you ignored my whisper, because you felt that nothing could possibly change. Comment if you turn to God in times of hardship, He is your safe haven. But I never stopped coming for you, my kid. I continued to approach close. I never stopped trying. I never stopped loving you despite your barriers, anxieties, and quiet. You've been looking for calm, but you've been making too much noise to notice when it arrives. You've been trying to find your way, but you're becoming lost in distractions. You've been looking for solace, but instead of healing yourself, you've been surrounding yourself with things that numb you. You've been looking for me, but you seem to slow down long enough to hear me. I therefore entered your moment. I entered your day. I extended my hand into your atmosphere, and I said in a whisper, please give me a moment. I can assure you that you won't regret taking a moment to read this message, since it contains something sweet and healing that you have wanted for so long that your heart has forgotten how to properly beg for it. There is more to what you are currently reading than just text on a screen. Heaven has orchestrated this precise moment. Your spirit is at last ready, thus this is the time I placed myself in your life, all set to listen to me. All set to release something. I am prepared to provide what I've been working on behind the scenes. You might not fully comprehend everything yet. You might not feel prepared. You might not be aware of what's about to happen. But believe me, this is a crucial moment. This is all I want for. Pay attention to me. Give your heart to me. Breathe. For me. For now only. Just long enough for me to implant something that will change your life. Let me explain why I had to enter your moment in this way, my kid. Why I entered your day with you felt a strong tug in your chest. Why did you hear these words at the very moment when your heart was weary and your thoughts were wandering? You've been carrying a burden that has been weighing on your spirit for a long time, but you haven't fully acknowledged it to yourself. A weight has been silently resting on your shoulders as you go about your days, a burden that you must overcome in order to function. A burden you conceal beneath rituals, humor, and distractions, behind the strength that wears you out when you read by yourself. Parts of your heart seem to be slipping through your fingers, and you've been mentally spent trying to keep things together. Your spirit has been drowning in the noise of all you've had to deal with on your own, which is why you've been spiritually silent, not because you don't want me or because you don't believe in me. My darling, you have been straying without even realizing it. Loud warnings do not cause drifting. One tiny compromise at a time, one missed moment at a time, one disregarded tug at a time, it all unfolds silently, slowly, and tenderly. It occurs when your thoughts become overly cluttered, your emotions become overwhelming, or life becomes too noisy. You strayed because you were surviving more than you were living, not because you were fleeing from me. You were so exhausted that you drifted. Your heart was injured from too many blows, so you drifted. You've been waiting, so you drifted. For someone to realize how much you've been carrying at last. You also became accustomed to the quiet. However, I witnessed it. I saw that your soul was becoming more subdued. I realized that you were losing hope. I watched how you gradually lost contact with the aspects of yourself that used to feel alive. I saw you falling into numbness, and I had to reach for you to stop you from going away. Without my assistance, you've been bearing loads by yourself that were never meant to be carried. You made an effort to keep things together since you didn't wish to annoy anyone. Even if you wanted to pass out on the inside, you persuaded yourself you were strong enough. You ignored the discomfort in order to push through it. Burying your grief helped you move through it. You pretended not to feel lonely in order to get through it. You didn't let yourself feel anything too strongly because you didn't want to crumble. You clenched your heart till even joy was difficult to enter because you didn't want to break. You held untreated emotional wounds. You didn't take a break from your weariness. You didn't get over your heartbreak. You were burdened with obligations that made it difficult for you to breathe freely. You numbed yourself in order to survive. In order to avoid feeling like you were falling behind, you suppressed your own needs. To avoid dealing with the pain in your chest, you diverted your attention. To avoid having to think, you kept yourself occupied. You continued to move even when you were shattering. Even though you were actually falling farther into a region where you couldn't feel me clearly, you assured yourself you were okay. I wasn't being rejected by you. In the only manner you knew how, you were defending yourself. You didn't run. I silently observed you attempting to prevent your heart from breaking. I understand why you emotionally shut down. I understand why you kept some portions of your heart locked. I understand why you stopped having high expectations. I understand why you kept telling yourself that you shouldn't feel hope, trust, or to suffer harm once more. You believed that numbness would protect you from suffering, but numbness was robbing you of the blessing that was on its way. Please give our channel some support. Our goal is to make your life more joyful, peaceful, and devoted to God. If you would want to express your encouragement and support, you may use Fantastic Thanks to make a donation. And I had to stop you because of my child. My voice feels louder than usual because of this. This moment feels heavy, deliberate, and obvious because of this. A sort of quiet was descending upon you that would have prevented you from seeing the solution to your prayers. You were becoming so exhausted that you might have forgotten all that heaven had been prepared for you. I was putting opportunities in your path, but you were slipping into a numbness that would prevent you from seeing them. Just when a breakthrough was about to happen, you were going into emotional survival mode. I was unable to let you stray from the blessing because I could see how near it was. I had to step in. I had to reach into your day in a way that would make you pause, make you feel something, and draw your heart back from the brink of fatigue. You came dangerously near to missing something bearing your name. Something that would bring back aspects of you that you believed would never return. Something I prepared long before you realized you needed it. I saw how your heart was growing too weary to handle what was about to happen. Therefore, I intervened before your strength continued to deteriorate. You've been going through life with the weight of 10 different wars bearing down on you at once. So I entered your moment. You've been telling yourself you refine while operating on emptiness. So I intervened. You hardly had room to feel me. So I intervened because I didn't want to lose you to emotional exhaustion, fear, or numbness. I need you to grasp something clearly, my child. This precise moment was set up for you by heaven. Not tomorrow, not an hour ago, not at a later time. This particular moment was picked, identified, and created especially for your heart. Your entire life has been pointing you in the direction of this message. Every weary night, every silent cry, every plea that went unanswered, every whisper you let out into the night, every time you felt invisible, alone, and as like your life was stuck. It all brought you to this moment, to this halt, to this breath, and to this meeting with me. This isn't a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. This is not a coincidence. Your heart needed this moment, therefore I put it in your life's timeline. Your spirit was aiming for something, even though your mind was unsure of what it was aiming for, which is why I brought you here. You have been drowning in obligations, noise, discomfort, and fatigue, and you were on the verge of becoming even more numb, which is why I aligned this minute. I chose this moment because the blessing that is coming your way demands that you awaken on the inside and take a deep breath, to feel and re-establish a connection with me. I am aligning right now because I need your heart to be in the proper position to receive what heaven has in store. I am going to talk into your innermost thoughts, so come closer now, my child, the aspects you've learnt to conceal, even from yourself. I would like to discuss your suffering with you. You buried the hurt, the suffering you lessen. The suffering you endured in silence because you thought no one would be concerned enough to support you. I've seen you carry a lot of pieces of your heart with trembling hands, acting as though everything was all right, that you were powerful, and that you were unaware of the weight bearing down on your chest. However, I witnessed everything. I witnessed the grief that tore you apart in ways you haven't yet healed. I witnessed the times when you were betrayed by someone you trusted, when a loved one left, when your soul was mismanaged by someone you opened it to. I could see how much it hurt you. I witnessed your attempt to move on while yet experiencing internal bleeding. I observed how you made an effort to maintain your smile, despite the fact that your heart was hurting behind your eyes. You convince yourself that you over it, but in reality, you've been dealing with the fallout from that heartbreak for longer than you realize. Because you frightened of experiencing that sorrow once more, you carry the pain in silent ways, avoiding particular dreams, memories, and hopes. You put up barriers because you afraid of being broken again, not because you don't desire love. Moreover, oh my darling, I witnessed all of that suffering. When you broke down, I was by your side. When you thought no one was watching, I held you. Before your tears hit the floor, I caught them. I noticed how tired you were. The kind of fatigue that results from fighting too many fights by yourself rather than from sleep deprivation. You've been mentally, physically, and spiritually exhausted. You've grown weary of pretending, waiting, hoping, and feeling as though you must constantly be the one who holds things together. When you screaming within for a place to rest is the strong, steady one. Because you've been pouring from an empty cup, you've been worn out. Because you have been holding while yearning to be held, and because you have been giving when in need, and I witnessed everything. I could see your spirit trembling. I noticed that your body felt heavy. I witnessed the times you were too weak to continue, but you persisted. I could see you were disappointed. Those times when all of your hopes were dashed by the pain of another door shutting. There were moments when you gave yourself permission to think that things might eventually improve. But life seemed to take a whole different turn. When folks failed to come up for you, I could see the disappointment in your eyes when commitments were not fulfilled, when expectations were not met, when chances passed you by. I seen how many setbacks accumulated inside of you to the point that you were afraid to hope for anything. However, I treasured each and every one of those setbacks, child. I never made fun of your optimism. I never disregarded your aspirations. I never disregarded your suffering. I saw how lonely you were, the kind that persists even in social situations, the kind that murmurs in your chest that nobody really sees you, nobody really gets you, nobody really stays. I witnessed the evenings you spent by yourself. Even if there were others around you, I witnessed the nights when you felt emotionally alone. I observed how you yearned for a relationship with someone who would comprehend your heart without requiring you to explain it. I witnessed your want for solace, tenderness, presence, and someone who could look at you and tell you, I am here. I could see how much you yearned for painless forms of affection. I was observing you with unwavering devotion, despite the fact that you felt invisible. I saw that you were afraid, the dread of what is ahead, the anxiety of going back in time, the apprehension of being excessive, the apprehension of not being sufficient. I witnessed the anxiety that caused you to reconsider your choices. I witnessed the anxiety that caused you to doubt your value. I witnessed the dread that caused you to shrink in order to prevent rejection. I witnessed the fear that caused you to compromise on what your heart really desired. I witnessed the terror that awoke you in the middle of the night, the fear that sent your thoughts into a tailspin. Your heart raced with fear. I witnessed the dread that gave you the impression that you were the only person in the world. However, you were never by yourself. I was by your side all the while. I could see you were confused, the times when nothing made sense, when you couldn't figure out why things happened the way they did, when you were unable to understand the reason behind the stillness, the change, the delay, or the loss. You asked, why me? When you questioned whether you had done something incorrectly, when you asked if I had forgotten about you, when you tried to make decisions without direction, clarity, or confidence and felt as though you were traveling through life blind. I saw you looking for solutions whilst feeling as though everything was entangled within you. I knew exactly where you were, even if you felt lost. I noticed that you were emotionally detached. The times when you were devoid of happiness, connection, and hope. The times you felt empty instead of depressed or furious. The times when you thought you had nothing left to offer, feel, or attempt. There are times when you shut off because you were hurting too much. My child, you weren't broken. You were defending the only way you knew how. You weren't chilly. You were hurt, and you were sick of being hurt. I never condemned you for the numbness I witnessed in you. You couldn't feel me, therefore I didn't distance myself from you. Even though you were completely unaware of me, I remained near enough to support you. Taipei intended that your heart is raised in adoration as my soul worships you. Every time you appeared to be all right, I saw it. The jokes you used to cover up your suffering, the forced smile, and the laughing you used to conceal your tears. People hardly ever notice when you were in pain because you've gotten so excellent at projecting strength. Even if you were crumbling inside, you conducted yourself with courage. You stated, I am fine, more times than you can count. You didn't want to burden anyone, not because you were okay. You didn't want to appear feeble. You didn't want to face criticism. I witnessed every instance in which you suppressed your emotions, swallowed your tears, and concealed your emotions. I witnessed your silent sobbing. The tears you shed in private at night so no one could hear you. The times you covered the sound by turning your face into your pillow. The evenings when you sobbed till your body was empty. The evenings you sobbed for no apparent reason. The evenings when pain suddenly surfaced. The evenings you had to bear the burden of everything by yourself. The evenings when you have to hold everything inside, and your chest aches. Every tear was visible to me, they weren't any waste, none were disregarded, none are hidden. I could see how you felt forgotten. The pain in your chest when people failed to support you, when they failed to inquire about your well-being and failed to recognize the extent of your difficulties. I witnessed the moments when you felt alone and looked about, when you questioned whether anyone really gave a damn, when you questioned whether anyone would notice if you vanished, when you questioned why you carried so much on your own, when everyone else appeared to be supported. You felt like people had forgotten you, my child. But I never forgot about you. Nothing you endured went forgotten in heaven. Not a single tear, a single heartbreak, a silent night, a moment of bewilderment, a sense of loneliness, a plea for assistance, a terrified prayer, or a breath you struggled to take. I saw everyone, I had everything. In ways you couldn't see, I covered you. When your intellect was too delicate, I shielded it. When life hit too hard, I protected your heart. Even when you couldn't feel me, I was always by your side. Even when you believed that I was silent and distant, your suffering brought me closer to you than your triumphs ever did. And now, let me assure you that I never abandoned you with the tenderness your soul requires. Not even for a moment. Not in a heartbeat. Not to sigh. Not for a second when your own emotions were causing you to tremble. I stood next to you when your heart broke during the heartbreak. You didn't know where the power came from, but I was there in the tiredness. I was present throughout the letdown, collecting the fragments of your optimism. I whispered love into your empty gaps while I was there in the solitude. I held your quivering heart while I was there in the terror. Even though you weren't aware of my guidance, I was there amid the confusion, steadily guiding you when everything seemed meaningless. I was there in the numbness, sustaining your spirit. Every time you cried out in silence, I was there to support you while you broke. Every time you felt forgotten, I was there. Let me now speak into the spaces within you, my little child. Never let anyone see. I wish to hear your mute cries, the desires that lie underlying everything you make an effort to hide, the anxieties you were afraid to express. Your dreams were too brittle to withstand another setback, so you packed them away. The aspects of you that only I have seen are what I want to discuss with you. The portions you have concealed from the outside world, the areas you shield even from yourself. Because I care about these peaceful, secret locations. Every word you don't say, every feeling you suppress, every desire you believed was either too tiny or too unattainable. None of them have escaped my heart after hearing them all. I heard what you never spoke. I heard what you were too ashamed to say. I heard the anxieties you kept to yourself, because you didn't want to frighten people or come across as weak. I heard the quivering inquiries that resided deep within you. What if I am insufficient? What happens if I fail once more? What if I sustain another injury? What happens if nothing improves? What happens if nobody stays? What if all of my dreams come true? From me, you tried to keep yourself together by whispering these things to yourself, but you never spoke them out loud. You made an effort to be brave, powerful, and composed. But there were storms inside that you were unable to control on your own. And I felt all those unsaid anxieties. None of them were disregarded. I heard the dreams you buried because you were weary of battling for things that continued to elude you, not because you no longer desired them. You buried dreams of real joy because joy seemed too erratic. Because your heart had been broken too many times, you buried your hopes of love. Disappointment had exhausted you, so you buried hopes for a better future. Because you didn't think you could handle another setback, you buried hopes for recovery. You felt lost, so you buried your dreams of meaning. Because chaos seemed louder than optimism, you buried your hopes of serenity. Dreams that were once vibrant and living were buried by you. You also told yourself that it was simpler to stop wanting them. However, I witnessed your hands shaking when you buried them. The pain of needing them was too great, so I watched you conceal them, and I protected those hopes for you. They survived. They merely awaited the return of hope to your heart. You trembled and mumbled prayers, and I heard them. When your hands shook, your chest constricted, and tears clouded your vision, you silently prayed. With a voice so quiet you could hardly hear it, you whispered, "Please help me." You said in prayer, "I can't do this alone." You say in prayer, "Give me strength." You said in prayer, "Don't let me fall apart." Nobody saw the desperation in your prayers, and each and every one of those prayers reached my heart like a child's scream for solace. I didn't ignore them. I didn't ignore them. I didn't wait for a stronger voice or a louder prayer. Heaven moved at the sound of your tramping whisper. I could hear your trembling words better than you could have imagined. I am aware of the burden you bear each morning. The burden you feel right now. Your eyes open the pressure that builds up in your chest, even before you inhale deeply for the first time of the day. I understand that sometimes waking up is like entering a battleground you never agreed to. I am aware of how the obligations you don't feel prepared for resurface every morning. The feelings you haven't fully processed, the unanswered questions. I am aware of how frequently you attempt to gather yourself before getting out of bed. I am aware of the courage you muster to persevere, putting on a face that conceals everything you worry other people won't comprehend. I am aware of the silent weight that each morning has carried. A fear at times, a melancholy at times. There were moments when you felt numb because you didn't know if the day would be good or if the world would become heavy once more. You believed that nobody could see how difficult those mornings were for you. You tried to steady yourself by taking long breaths, but you didn't think anyone noticed. You believed that nobody was aware of the amount of work required simply to get through the day. However, I did. Every morning, I kept an eye on you. When you woke up feeling empty, I was at your side. I was by your side when you were still carrying the burden of yesterday. Even if all you wanted to do was cuddle up under the covers and run away from responsibility, I remained by your side when you had to force yourself out of bed. I stood next to you, my hands softly caressing your spirit, giving you power you were unaware was coming from me. You have no idea how many days you made it through because I kept your heart together. You have no idea how many times despair attempted to engulf you, but was thwarted by my presence. You have no idea how many times you believed you could succeed on your own. In actuality, though, I was carrying you. Every day and every night I have been keeping an eye on your heart. When you had no strength left, I was it. When your thoughts became too loud, I was your solace. When loneliness rang in your chest, I was there to console you. When darkness attempted to get to you, I was there to protect you. Ivy Bean, helping you when everything seemed overwhelming. However, I need you to comprehend something, my kid. I was never hardened by your suffering. I was moved by it. I was not alienated by your silent anguish. It pulled me in. I was not deterred by your dread. It made me feel sympathetic. I wasn't offended by your apathy. My heart ached for you. I was not irritated by your disappointments. I wanted to hug you much more because of them. Ivy never found you to be too much. Ivy never been overcome by your feelings. Ivy never been afraid of your questions. I have never been repulsed by your frailty. I have never been bothered by your need. I was drawn closer rather than farther away by everything you carried, every pain, every fear, every tear. I witnessed you sobbing quietly into the night, hoping that the quiet would drown your tears before anyone spotted you. I witnessed you hiding in your room so that no one could know how devastated you were. I noticed how you hastily wiped away your tears to avoid being questioned. I witnessed your silent sobs in the shower, as that was the only place you felt secure enough to crumble. I witnessed you clutching your chest because the pain was too intense to describe. Does anyone even care? You muttered, and I saw it. I witnessed you sobbing until your body shook. I witnessed your secret suffering. And every second I spent with you destroyed my heart, not out of rage, but out of love. Because I never wanted you to feel like you were on your own. And I heard you when the rest of the world did not. I saw your heart break when others did not. When nobody could relate to your suffering, I comprehended. I was observing you when you felt invisible. I loved you even when you felt unimportant. I was holding you when you felt unwelcome. I whispered your name in heaven when you felt forgotten. I surrounded your spirit with strength to keep you going when you felt hopeless. I kept your heart from breaking when you were numb. I granted you quiet grace while you were feeling overburdened, and you were unaware of it. Let me talk to you now, my kid, about something you have battled with for so lengthy. This sensation that your life has been obstructed, slowed down, delayed, or stuck in ways you are unable to articulate. You've examined your life and questioned why things didn't work out for you the way they did for other people. You questioned why seemingly flawless doors abruptly closed. You questioned why individuals you assumed would stay abruptly departed. You questioned why, despite your fervent prayers, opportunities eluded you. You questioned why it felt that each time you moved forward, something pushed you away. You felt as though the route ahead of you was shrouded in mist, as though you were traveling through ambiguity, lacking clarity, direction, and the answers you had been pleading with me for. But since none of these delays, endings, or stops were punishment, I want to tell you the truth about them. All of them served as protection. If you felt God's presence, please share this video and thank Him for holding my hand.